Love it.
Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. I love it too, Kim. I'm Nikki Medoro. She's Kim McAllister, and we are here on this Thursday. Thanks for joining us, guys. As you always do, we appreciate it. Click that thumbs up. It really helps us out. And as always, a big thank you to everyone that's been supporting the show, sending those messages in through Patreon and PayPal. We can only do that with your support. And so a big, big thank you. And you guys know who you are for supporting us each and every week. We love you guys. As always, a jam-packed show over the next hour and a half or so, and we're going to get to it. But right before the show, obviously ISIS has been in the news, what's been happening in Minnesota. The Democrats and the Republicans may be averting a government shutdown, at least partially, by coming to some sort of funding agreement with some funding bills and possible extension of funding for DHS. But we need reforms over ICE. But right before the show started, I was asking Kim, because tomorrow is kind of this proposed day of walkout. It's a day of walkout. And a lot of the schools, basically what you're supposed to do is you're not supposed to go to either walk out of work, walk out of school, not buy things, not shop. It's supposed to, to show that you're not going to be supporting the government and ICE, and you're supporting your immigrant community. And Kim, you were telling me that the school district next to your kid's school is kind of supporting this idea, but your school district or your school is not.
They sent a letter out today, and I guess there's a big walkout that's planned, where people are going to kids are going to protest. It's like no work, no school, no shopping, nothing, right? Just the full-on blackout. And when kids leave the classroom, the school does not get paid for those kids being there.
Right.
And so the school district has to subtract money from their bottom line, and they're not cool with that. They said they wanted, this is the message from our superintendent at Petaluma City Schools. I want to reaffirm all students in our care have the legal right to attend school safely without fear, regardless of immigration status. And I didn't know this. He said the California Supreme Court has stated that an immigrant student's right to an equal education opportunity is a vitally important right in our society. These protections are codified in California law to ensure educational access for all. But here's the kicker in Petaluma. They respect and uphold everyone's right to express their political views insofar as the walkout, but they would like to urge caution around any actions that would keep students home from school or close schools down. They say it's important for schools to have stability and unity and keep that money rolling in. And they say they will not be marking kids' absences as excused tomorrow. If you miss school, it's an unexcused absence. But in the school district down the road, excused absences for people who are participating is what I understand.
That's interesting.
What about yours?
So our school district has just kind of sent out a message that we are aware of this proposed walkout. Apparently it's like at 2:00. So most of the, not saying all, our school gets out at two times. 2:30 is 6th period, 3:30 is like 7th period, right? And most of the kids get out at 6th period, some at 7th period. And so 2:00 is almost the end of the day for a lot of the students. So they would be there for most of the day. Then my daughter's telling me a lot of kids are just not going to go to school, which I think defeats the whole purpose. If you're not going to go to school at all, now I'm not going to judge you, but there is this part of me that's like, you're using it as an excuse not to go to school. I think the whole purpose of a walkout is the actual action. Like, I am standing up at this moment and I'm showing you visibly that I am doing this. I'm walking out. That's
in protest.
It's called that. You know what I mean? It's, if I'm sleeping in till noon, nobody knows if I'm just not going to school or what. Like, there's no. So that's my belief about just not showing up at school at all, or work or whatever. Now, our school is, as far as I understand, it will not be excused. We understand why kids are doing it. We're not, basically we're not supporting it. We're not supporting it. We're just saying, we understand it's happening. We're not going to be responsible for your children, have conversations with your kids, but once they leave campus, they are not our responsibility anymore. So we want parents to be aware of that.
Sure.
But yeah, it is not going to be it's not going to be excused. It's going to be marked as you didn't show up to class today. But again, like I mentioned, you're already getting, for students, if they leave at 2:00, they've already been marked attended at their class. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't think any teachers are going to then go back and say,
well, don't they have to mark
they
you out?
might.
They might have to, like, I don't know, say that you left early. I don't know how it works.
I don't know what the teachers are going to do. So I guess it might be up to the teacher to go back and be like, this student left. But then, that's 30 minutes before an hour and a half long class so that would be interesting to see how it goes tomorrow. But yeah, it's, and we're not. So, and that's another thing they've kind of stipulated, that they're telling us by contract, we are not supposed to be participating in things like this. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. That's going to be
our superintendent says there are many meaningful ways to make your voice heard that do not involve disrupting the school day. And I strongly encourage our community to keep schools out of protest efforts. Protecting the school day protects our students.
Yeah. I think that if you don't want to walk out, that is true. I think that there are many ways that you can support. Look, anybody that knows me, anybody that knows you, I don't need to walk out of class. You know how I feel. Every
day I show up to work, it's a protest. I'm not in protest.
I do this show. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't think anybody has any question about how I feel about anything. So I show my support in many ways. But I do think that there is the action of showing up en masse with people that I love to see. And we saw it in the last protest. You know what I mean? This isn't the first, and I doubt it's going to be the last protest. And so, but I do, when it involves children, especially teenagers, it does give me a bit of pause about, one, why are they truly doing it? I do think in certain communities, it is there. They do have a huge fear, and there is a lot of motivation behind it. In other cases, I think there's some kids that just don't want to go to class. You know what I mean? And it sucks to say, but I do think that that's true. But either way, my support is behind anybody that's going to do it tomorrow. Just be safe. And yeah, it's, because there's a lot of stuff coming up. The Super Bowl is coming up. Eyes are on the Bay Area right now. I think a lot of people want to make that point as well. I want to play this video. We were also talking about this. Did you see the Santa Clara City Council was happening? And a lot of people are calling on their local officials, saying, how can you support ICE? I don't know if you also heard, we talked about this last week, but it's official now. My own mayor, San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan, has officially thrown his hat in the ring for governor. He is officially in the race, which not quite sure how I feel about it now that he's officially entered the race. All the criticism is coming down because, and one of the big things is he has come out and said he will not be supporting federal officials with ICE operations. He does not want local law enforcement supporting federal officials. And the argument is, and I honestly don't know why people don't understand this. Federal operations should be handled by the feds. Local officials need to handle their own local law enforcement. The whole idea that our officers, especially in a city our size, needs to help you, give me a freaking break over here. Not to mention protests and everything else that goes along with it. You want to come here and do your ICE operations? You handle it, buddy. We got our own issues. So anyways, Santa Clara obviously is where the Super Bowl is going to be held. And they have said that they are going to be, I guess, quote unquote, cooperating. And Batman just was not happy about it at all.
Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. I don't give a damn if this is outside of decorum. People are dying on our streets every single day in this country because we allow this federal government to walk all over you. Look me in the eye. Can any one of you go home to your children and tell them that you did everything you could to protect their classmates, to protect their grandparents, to protect them? I don't think you can, with the exception of Park. Thank you. This needs to have happened 2 months ago, but you can still make it up and make every single policy on this little sheet of paper here happen right now, happen before the Super Bowl, happen before potentially hundreds of masked men come into our city and kill people. I am disgusted by each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilmember Park, that you have not done something more. You need to affirm that no city resources will go to ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. You need to affirm to the country, to the world, that you are not cowards. Because as of right now, I stand in front of a council of cowards. And if you do not act, you're not just cowards, you are traitors. Traitors to each and every individual you serve, to each and every individual that lives in this country, legal or not. You need to do something about getting these policies into writing, ensuring that your officers do not cooperate with ICE, ensuring that they cannot use city resources, that they cannot tap into city data before more people die. Yes, more people die. I don't think I need to go into how many people have been shot, how many people have been taken, how many children have been abducted and used as bait. I don't need to tell you that. You see it on the TV every single day. I don't want you to sit back and watch. I want you to do something.
Oh, Batman.
Each and every one of these people who have came up has been very polite, very earnest, very kind, pleading you, begging you to do something. I'm not begging you. I'm demanding that you act with some semblance of a spine. Do something.
Batman was
Wow.
pissed. Yeah.
Batman. I think he got more attention for dressing up like his speech would have been something everyone
Right.
anyone in the community would have gotten up and said, and it wouldn't have gotten any attention. But because he delivered it dressed
In
like
this-
Batman,
Exactly.
now it's getting some attention. Oh, well
Right,
done.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I will say this, having federal officials, and we know, obviously, whenever there's an event like the Super Bowl, human trafficking, like federal officials are there en masse, looking for criminals. But I think that in this instance, who they're targeting, people are upset. People don't want to see it. You know what I mean? They just don't want to see it. And with the rhetoric and with what's happened in Minnesota with Good and now with Alex Preddy,
Yeah.
it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And I think, with Renee Good, even though I don't think that there was any, gray area with it, people found some. But with Alex Preddy, there was just none. I mean, you couldn't
make a case.
deny what you saw with your own eyes. And the fact that they were selling you a story that was so obviously a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was so obviously a lie. In no way, shape, or form could they sell it. His death, I think, has become the turning point for this. And I hope will remain and bring down. I mean, they have said, now they're sending in Tom Homan, the border czar, right? Who, again, his rhetoric has not been any better than anybody else's. But I will say he's going to follow. At least he doesn't say that it's been perfect. You know what I mean? At least he goes in there and says, I don't think he's going to do what Noem does. I don't think he's going to go in there and say that was a domestic terrorist the minute something happens.
No.
I don't think he's going to do that.
He doesn't have a lot of moral standing in
No.
my book.
Oh,
This is a guy
absolutely
that
not.
took 50 grand in a paper bag. So let's just throw that out. But I like this comment because I think it speaks to what they view this as. That we're not being viewed as Americans, right? And
Right.
so for them, the rules don't apply. The Constitution doesn't apply. Dallas Baker writes, when Tom Homan refers to ICE actions in Minnesota as a theater, like a
Mhm.
theater of war, right? It's a term we use when conducting military action in foreign countries like Iraq.
No.
This is unacceptable. We should never hear our government say that.
No.
Yeah. I agree.
And he also is pledging a drawdown. He has said that unprofessional officers will be dealt with. And that's also been the scary thing. when we see ICE officers shoot and kill people, when we see other officers walking away clapping, right? It gives Americans this sense that there will be no justice, that there is this other set of laws and rules or no laws that apply to these officers, and that people are dying at the hands of ICE officers, and there's nothing we can do about it. So not only do American citizens and undocumented citizens or people that have asylum not get due process, but we're not even, getting a day in court. We're not getting any sort of justice. And that's not an America I want to live in. Now, is Tom Homan going to be the adult in the room? Perhaps. I like the fact that Noem is out of there, and I don't know where the hell she's heading. Homan says that filming ICE is going to be against the law. Whose law? No. No, I don't think that. That was one of, and again, okay, go ahead.
We know this is the case. They are collecting information on people that are protesting against ICE. They want your name. They want your address. They'll run your license plate. They'll try to figure out who you are. No, they really are. They're collecting a database. They call it.
I'm sure they are.
The domestic terrorist database. So what you're telling me is I don't have a right to protest in this country, the United States of America, without fear of ICE coming to my home and exacting retribution. I heard Jon Stewart Monday, say that it wasn't the gun ICE was afraid of. They shot him because he was holding a camera, and they're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of being documented, which I thought was very interesting concept. If you have to be afraid to be videotaped or afraid to be on film because what you're doing is so bad that you don't want it to get out to the world, we got a real problem. And something you just said really stuck with me, because you said there's nothing we can do about people being murdered. You said there's nothing we can do about it. And it's so true, because you see what happened to Alex Preddy, whether or not he stood up in the days prior to his death or not and protested. You see what happened to Renee Good, who, in my estimation, was just trying to turn to get out of there.
Right.
You see what happens to people. And there are so many other cases of people being brutalized and pepper sprayed just for protesting and whatnot, which isn't supposed to happen in the United States. It's like scenes that we're seeing from some other country that, you wouldn't want to live in. And here it's happening to us here in our own country. But there is, as you say, we can't do anything about it. There appears to be no justice.
Right. And that's the problem. There needs to be accountability, and Americans need to believe that there's going to be accountability for these officers that have gone too far. Just like anybody, nobody's perfect. Just like police officers, anybody, they're doctors. There's always been bad actors, right, in any sort of field. And when you're in a position of power, especially law enforcement, they need to be held in account, and investigations need to be impartial. You cannot have the federal government, let alone the Department of Justice, investigating their own when they're all on the same side of this asinine, plan in dealing with illegal immigration. And so I don't trust the DOJ. I don't trust the FBI. And so I don't know who we would put in there that I or other Americans would trust. Now, as far as the cameras and the reason why I was kind of like, about kind of doxing protesters is that is part of the demands that Democrats are making in this battle over funding. They want these body-worn cameras. We've talked about this. They want body-worn cameras. They want the covering of ICE agents' faces. No more. That's not going to be allowed. These are the things that should be not debatable. Like, it seems obvious. And this whole idea of, these officers' lives are being put in danger. Well, the reason they're being put in danger is because they are acting outside the law. The reason these protesters are out there is because you're acting outside the law. And this is the one thing that I was encouraged, I'm going to use that in quotes, about what Tom Homan was saying when he went out there, is that he was going to go back to the business and the focus of what Congress passed, which now We didn't really like what Congress passed, but what they passed and what Trump said he was going to do was the first focus was on criminals, right? That's what everybody was focused on. And he said, if we have an undocumented immigrant that's a criminal with a criminal history and one that doesn't, even though they want both out of here, we're going to go after the one that with a real criminal record. That, whether it's true or not, obviously he could be full of crap, but that's what I want to go back to. You know what I mean? That I hesitate to think that he's actually telling the truth, but if that's what I want to go back to, if we're going to go back to anything, because that's what people were told. The reason why people are so outraged is you're going to courthouses. You're getting asylum seekers who are here legally. You're going to their court dates. You know, you're pulling people out because they might be the person you're looking for. You know, and on top of that, we have to know that it is that person. We know that it's that person. We have documentation that it is that person. We're not making the mistakes. That's what needs to happen. People need to trust that it's happening the way that you said it would, even if we're not really sitting pretty that we like that, right? But at least it was supposed to be that. This is asinine. This is mayhem. This is chaos. And that is why we're seeing what we're seeing in places like Minneapolis. And get the hell out of Minneapolis. That's not a hotbed for illegal immigration. You're only there, you know, because you're pissed off at Minneapolis, right? It's ridiculous. It's political retribution, and everybody freaking knows it. And that needs to stop as well. But that starts with Trump. You know, that's political. That's stupid. And hopefully Trump realizes that it's not going to play for him, but the midterms need to happen. You know, there needs to be some sort of political fallout for the GOP and for Republicans, and hopefully we're going to see it. But I don't know if that can come soon enough, Kim. I don't know. I was really disappointed that Noem wasn't fired. You know what I mean? I'm really disappointed that more heads haven't rolled. I am. I want to see people fired. I want Miller gone. I want Noem gone. You know what I mean?
When you have to work so hard to turn an innocent victim into a villain, you know there's a problem. And here I see John, and hi, John Cottingham. Thank you for showing up. I always love your perspective, but I got to tell you, I think you're wrong. And I'd love your perspective on this, Nikki. Bringing a gun, a concealed weapon to a protest, which is his right, ended when he interfered with an attempted arrest. My question is, how did he interfere? By helping a lady up? Come on. You have a melee with a gun present. Bad things happen. The officer will not be charged.
They didn't know he had a gun.
They did.
They didn't know he had. They took it away, but they took it off of him, but they didn't know when he stepped in that he had a gun. They didn't know that yet. Right. He stepped in, they maced him. They pushed a woman. I want to first know I didn't see before that. Why did they push the woman?
What attempted arrest? Were they trying to arrest the lady they shoved into the snow?
They shove a woman. The guy has a camera and he gets maced. Like, none of it is de-escalation tactics. Like, the officers were always in the wrong in that situation. Always. The guy was never in the wrong. He had the gun legally. Nothing justifies how many times 2 officers fired their guns. Like, nothing justifies it. There is no justification for it. There is zero justification for it. And then to blame the victim after the fact, to hunt and dig for reasons is ridiculous.
I think you are factually wrong, John, and I think you're morally wrong on this. Both.
I mean, I just feel like, you know, that watching that video, I see a man protesting. Yes. I see also a man standing in between an officer and a woman who was just pushed to the ground very hard. Like, why did he have to push her so hard? Even if she was yelling in his face, are you that threatened by an unarmed yelling woman that you have to push her? These are untrained in de-escalation techniques officers. Like, they should not be there. I was also listening to this one theory, and it's a theory, that the reason that, who was it? It was an actress that was making this. So again, grain of salt. But the minute I heard it, I was like, oh, I like it, but I don't like it because it's an awful theory. That the reason you're not hearing about the Proud Boys is because they're all ICE officers. Is that they've all signed up. And that's why they're all untrained and they're all fucking angry. They're all angry and they're just out there and they're just not all of them. But
say it again. The reason you're not hearing about what?
The Proud Boys and all those people that wanted
all the Proud Boys are that
have quote unquote military experience, because a lot of them, some of them have law enforcement or military experience. Where are they? Where are they in the chat rooms and all of them?
And I also have heard the same about January 6th participants that they're, signed up for ICE. These people believe it. You know what's
now, of course, that is a broad brush I just painted.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not all.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, there's probably a line through some of them. I would say that if you signed up for ICE, there is probably some sort of connection between that and this.
Mm-hmm.
For some of them. I don't know how many, but some of them.
Pretty wide swath of the country that wants this to happen.
I
was reading that they did a poll of people from different parties and separated them based on their political thinking. And of Republicans, 85% of people are saying, yeah, this is what we were looking for. But I had the story earlier about this lady, the Latinas for Trump.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that.
Who is now backtracking, and she's not necessarily for Trump anymore because she was stopped when she was heard speaking Spanish at an airport, and immigration asked her if she was an American citizen because she was speaking her native tongue. And she said she's starting to get worried about her Latino-looking son getting stopped by ICE.
You don't say.
Yeah, exactly. What a bonehead.
And again, it always goes back to you don't care until it happens to you, right? Like you couldn't put yourself into anybody else's shoes until you were standing in them literally. You couldn't see it happening. Seriously? Mm-hmm. Like you couldn't go down that road even an inch, huh? You didn't see it. Seriously? Yeah. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, white nationalists, supremacists. Yeah. Because I can't imagine seeing somebody shot dead in the street. Like I saw that officer that turned around and started clapping. You saw someone, even if you don't believe that he was murdered, you just saw someone get shot dead with like 9 bullets and you turned around and clapped. You saw somebody shoot a woman through the face and you said, effing bitch. Like that's who you are. And then you're going to stand up there and half of you're going to walk into church the next day. You know what I mean? Like bothers me to no freaking end.
Well, it's unjust and it's awful. And also, I don't want to say it because I'm heartbroken over it, but signals the end of the America that we know and that we love, that things like that are possible here. That you could trample on so many of our rights in the Constitution and have that be okay with people, and have 85% of Republicans who are supposed to be the patriots carrying the flag, and the flag represents America, which is based on the Constitution, say yes. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We're done. We're cooked. Over. We're over. It's over. Done. No. Party over.
See, this is what I always walk you off the cliff of America. Remember, America's always had ups and downs, Kim. Remember that. We always have to walk off the cliff of that way. Walk back, walk back, walk back.
Okay. Grab my hand. You're pulling me back.
I'm pulling you back. All right. Well, let's go back to voting. Did you see that House Republicans have unveiled their election reform bill? Now, can we get away from this? You know, we're always stuck in like something gate, ever since Watergate. Now everything's like make something great again, right? Mm-hmm. Make elections great again. This is their new election thing. I'm going to go down the list of what they want to do. Okay. And this is forms that they want to make, which aren't new. We've heard this crap before because remember now they're raiding the election headquarters in Georgia because Trump cannot let it go. I mean, if there was any place that was more audited, it was Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, if you remember, it was like, he was like, can you find all these freaking votes, right? Like, I swear to God. But anyways, so there's a 1-page summary The measure includes the requirements that people have to present the photo ID before they vote, that states verify the citizenship of people when they register. It would require states to use auditable paper ballots in elections, which, by the way, most states actually already have. This is where it gets kind of tricky. The election would the legislation would require only mail-in ballots received in states by the close of polling on election day be counted, with the exception of the military, which, thank God. It would prohibit the mailing of ballots to all voters through universal vote by mail, which is like something that California has, like everyone can get one. Now, of course, the requiring proof of citizenship, that's the whole, like, you could have a different last name than your spouse, so it could cause problems there. And then the Brennan Center for Justice says 9% of U.S. citizens of voting age, or 21.3 million people, do not have proof of citizenship readily available, and almost half of Americans do not have a U.S. passport. So 21 million voting age Americans would have a problem if this was implemented and put into effect immediately.
I didn't have a passport until I was in my 40s.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, until I traveled. Well, when did I travel out of the country? No, I got one when I was in college because I went for my senior trip. I went to Mexico, so I needed a passport. They're going to sell this to people. They're like, what is the problem with it? This is my problem with it. I have the biggest problem, obviously, with the proof of citizenship. One, because it's already against the law. But two, because they're putting the onus on the American, right? Yeah. The onus shouldn't be on us. Like, there's already safeguards in place to check that we're citizens. It's making us guilty of something that we're not guilty of.
Show me how many non-citizens have voted in elections.
Exactly.
Because every time they do a study, they come up empty. Because, and Mark says this all the time, citizens, people that are not here legally, they're not going to get caught. Yes. They're not trying to go and vote in our election and take the chance and take a risk that they're going to get busted. They don't want that. They're staying as far away from it as possible. So show me why we need to verify my citizenship. Show me.
And it's so funny whenever somebody comes out, there's a news story. They're like, this person voted twice in this election. I'm like, oh, so the system worked.
Because you know it.
So caught them. So, like, that's what always boggles my mind. Is like, they're like, see, look, I got 2 ballots. I got 2 ballots at my house. How's that going to work? I'm going to send them both in. I'm like, go ahead, try it. Go ahead and try it, and then see what happens. There's a system that catches this. Yes. And it bothers me that people think it's easy. And that's what bothers me. There's actually, like, we've done this for like so many years.
And most of the voter fraud, most of the people that were committing voter fraud were actually doing it on behalf of Trump, as far as I've read in certain studies.
That have made headlines, at least. Yeah, exactly.
A handful of them. It's not like they make a statistical difference.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, if you want to look at individuals who are doing these kinds of things, it's not Democrats, and it's not immigrants, and it's not non-citizens.
Right. And even if we do, even when we hear the headline, the point is we found out. It's just... Exactly. What about real ID driver's license? Isn't that proof enough? It's not a problem. The only reason Trump is making this into a problem is because he lost. That's it. Yep. You do not see him contesting any elections in which he won. Any of the states in which Republicans won, fine. Those are fine.
They want to make it hard for Democrats to vote. They want to make it hard for poor people to vote. They want to make it hard for people of color to vote because those voters are traditionally going to vote for progressive candidates. So it signals to me this is what they call the bill. Make elections great again.
So done with the great again stuff. I'm so done with the great again. Like, can we be done with the great again? Like,
they're scared. They're very, very scared. And even Trump has said, listen, if we don't win the midterms, I'm going to be impeached. Good. Thank the good Lord. Impeach him as many times as it takes to throw his ass out on the street. and
I
then
just want to go
seize all of his
away.
assets, put him back into our treasury because he just profited off 2 different terms in the presidency,
Exactly.
and kick him down to Epstein Island where he can live the rest of his life in solitude. That's what I say.
He is so, and he's the biggest grifter. I mean, the amount of money him and his family are just raking in, and not under our noses, like right in front of us, as his cabinet is like, he's the most transparent president. Yeah, because you guys are buying it hook, line, and sinker. He's like, yeah, I'm just taking all this money in. I'm creating cryptocurrency with my name on it. Like, he's gonna have like the WWE on the front lawn of the White House, and you guys think it's classy? Like, are you kidding me right now?
And you're not even joking.
I'm
Yes.
not kidding. Like, and he's gonna sell tickets to it, and probably have like bikini babes. Not that I'm knocking the bikini babes, but like they're probably gonna be dancing on the things. Like, it's just like, I don't understand. You know, like, where did we go wrong? The more people that vote, that's always been the case. The more people that vote, the less likely Republicans win. It's
gives me a little
statistically
faith.
true.
Gives me a little more faith, right?
Well.
Because that means more people are reasonable and have common sense than not.
You would hope, but you know what I mean? You would
I
hope.
have a friend that I worked with in radio that seemed like the most normal person that all of a sudden recently just turned into like, and you would think over ICE and what's happening with ICE that people would
Right.
be looking like to pull away from Trump and what's happening.
Right.
But that's what's turned her toward Trump. It's crazy. I don't know.
Do I know this person?
All of a sudden they just turn. They turn on you.
Oh.
Wild. Like they get sucked into the cult-like grossness.
Yeah, it's so hard. Luis, thank you for the $5 donation. Props
Luis.
to the Dropkick Murphys for releasing the song Citizen Ice, Too Scared to Join the Military, Too Dumb to Be a Cop. Strong lyrics, boys. Also, who was it? Somebody else just released, was it Bruce Springsteen?
Bruce Springsteen just
Yeah.
did. He wrote it in one day, recorded
Yeah.
it that evening, and the next day the song was out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Luis also said a screening of the obscure Paris Hilton doc has outsold the combined sales of 4 screenings of Melania. Be Best, Not Your Movie. Sucks. It does. So yeah, Melania. It's not a documentary if you're the executive producer on it. I'm just letting you know. Then it's just a PR campaign pitch. I don't know who the hell wants to see it.
It's a vanity project.
She has to be. I don't find her fascinating. I never have. I find her. I understand the mystique because she doesn't really come out. I could give 2 rats' asses why she would ever be married to that man for very long.
Money.
I zero. I mean, obviously, it's not really that deep, but
citizenship as well.
But again, I think if she would have turned on him, that's a doc I would have seen. But just staying with him, boring. Like, why the hell do I want to see? Why would I want to see that? That's like, why? What's interesting about that? Oh, you're an ex-model who stayed in it for the money? Yawn. Like, okay.
I think ideologically, she believes all that crap as well.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
I've said it before. I'll never forget when she went on The View and told Joy Behar that, Barack Obama wasn't born in America and he shouldn't be allowed to be. I mean, she's one of them. And then did you see yesterday? Here comes Melania calling for unity.
Oh yeah, give me a freaking break.
Peaceful protest.
I don't like violence.
United.
Shut
then
up.
Why don't you talk to your husband because he's killing people on the street?
Yeah, no, she didn't care when the kids were in cages. She doesn't really care, do you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't care.
She's a piece of crap. She's weird looking with her little eyes that are like, like I'm peering into your soul.
She, and again, like she can do whatever she wants to do, but she's not interesting enough for it to spend $40 million plus like another 50 with marketing. Like, are you high? She is not that interesting. There's no, when you sell a movie, okay, like not that we're in the movie business, but there has to be a conflict. You know what I mean? Like, what are we selling? That she walks in high heels and doesn't say anything? Like, what are we selling of Melania? She doesn't do anything. Be Best was bad English. She wore a bad jacket in the last term, which was like literally the biggest headline she's ever had. What does she do?
She's a complete disgrace.
She doesn't do anything though. What I'm saying is like, there's no story there. Why do I want to watch a quote unquote documentary, which isn't a documentary because she's involved in it? What is the story? What is the hook to make me sit and pay movie prices to watch? There is nothing. You haven't done anything.
Do they have the naked nudie pictures and the
I don't even think they did that.
Modeling
No.
in the documentary? I came from porn to be the first lady of the United States.
That would have kept it at least semi-interesting. Like, you have to give people something like to entice them into the theater. She's done literally nothing as the first lady. Her Be Best campaign was bullshit. What did she do? What? Her Be Best was bullshit because she didn't actually mean it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say be your best as the first lady of a guy who was literally and is literally the worst. So stop.
She's here on they give a certain number of the genius, where you show that you're contributing something to the United States in science or entertainment or whatever, like that you somehow
Einstein, whatever,
you've risen, the Einstein visa, that you're somehow you're going to contribute something bigly to the United States.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is. I'm still waiting to see it. Can we take those back? Those citizenships?
No, I mean, it's just like Nicki Minaj got her Trump card, like her gold card, because Nicki Minaj is not a citizen, right? She's totally like not. I think she has her green card, but she never became a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she bought her Trump gold card, so now she gets to stay in the United States. So good on her. Because you can buy your way into America. You just have to be rich. You can be one of the worst people in the world, but as long as you pay Donald Trump, like whatever, what was it? How much? $500 million or whatever it was. You too can be an American citizen and buy your Trump card. And there you go. That's all you need to do. And Melania's definitely paid her dues. So
I just don't understand. And usually I don't want to make fun of someone's looks. I'm not the most.
You're gorgeous. Stop it. You're gorgeous. Oh, you're frozen too. Or is that me? Am I frozen? Who's frozen?
I think I'm frozen.
Okay, I can hear you now.
I don't understand how she sees with this squint all the time. Like, I don't get, like, she constantly has this scowl on her face.
Well, I think it's because there's probably a bunch of like flashes going off in her eyes.
I think she thinks it looks sexy because she looks like that all the time. In video, in photos. It's got her look. Squint. It's like it's her model look. She's so phony, non-genuine, and just yuck. She's a big, giant yuckaroo.
She is. And
the
you know what?
only thing I feel sorry for her is that she has to sleep with that orange guy.
She does not. She does not sleep with him. They do not sleep in the same bedroom. No way, shape, or form. She smacks his hand away all the time.
I bet that's in the prenup. You have to do it a certain number of times a month, a year, whatever.
Dude, with the size of his fingers, I doubt he can get it up. Are you kidding me right now? No, thank you.
Crazy ass.
Ugh, gross. I'm just saying 40. So what was it? Amazon put in $40 million Amazon MGM acquired it for $40 million. Jeff Bezos is so far up Trump's ass that's what I can't imagine, but whatever. Bezos should lose his ass. All of these billionaires that are sucking up to him, I just can't believe. Oh, Sydney, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Newest bribe to dear leaders sell out movie houses for Melania. Yes, thank you. It is. They're just kissing ass. And thank you for donating that $10. We love you. You could not pay me. I went and saw, what did I say? I saw the 28 years later, The Bone Collector. Way better spending money than freaking watching that crap. Yeah. You know me and my horror movies. I'd much rather watch that.
I would rather watch a horror movie than Melania, and that's saying something.
Exactly. It was hella better than anything else.
It was a podcaster that was saying, look at your local theater and see how many tickets to Melania have been sold. And most people that looked said, oh, there's none. Like there's no tickets are selling at all.
Yeah.
But I looked at my local theater and there was like 4 showings, and it's not in Petaluma, it's in Santa Rosa, which is up the road.
Okay.
And there was maybe for this weekend, I want to say 4 or 5 seats sold.
Okay.
at certain. I mean, so there was some, but it wasn't like a sold out theater at all.
I'm sure that if you look in like Florida, there are. So let me see. So I'm going to look in mine. So let me just look at like, hold on. Let's look at a decent sized theater. Okay. So let me look at the Mercado, and let's look at let's look at a 7:15 show, and let's see how many seats are available. Okay. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. So 12 seats are sold. And I mean, I would say it's maybe half the theater.
Is that half? Okay.
That's like about half the theater.
Bad.
That's not too bad. Right. You know, I don't know but it's a smaller theater, but then the next showing has 1 seat sold. So balance. I don't know. Again, what are you watching for? Well, and again, it could also be like the books. Who knows if there's anybody actually watching that movie? It could, you know, like how Don Jr., whoever wrote a book or whatever, and they just bought all the books.
Yeah.
It could be an empty theater. You can watch it. You can watch it by yourself. Who wants to watch it? I just don't understand. Yeah. Melania's kind of like a horror movie. I couldn't sit through it. You know, maybe I don't even think if I could watch it on streaming, I would be so bored. Why? Yeah. Why am I watching it?
What do you think you're going to learn? There's not really anything to learn about her life.
Right. Exactly.
Came from another country.
No,
exactly.
Here, exactly.
Paraded around, did a little modeling.
Melania has no talent for learning language. Exactly. It's
and
just
married
awful.
a guy, and all of a sudden we're supposed to look at her as if she's someone to respect.
Right.
And the answer is thumbs down. No.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're not watching that. I have better things to spend my time on than doing that. Exactly. I will be watching the Super Bowl, though. Are you going to be watching the Super Bowl? I'm very sad that it's the Seahawks and the Patriots. I'm very sad.
Especially in Santa Clara. I like that it is. I like the halftime shows. Sometimes I'm
very excited about Green Day and Bad Bunny. I definitely am about that.
And I like the commercials.
Yes.
So sometimes I like to talk about it the next day. So I'll probably check it out, although I'm not really invested in the game. I'm very glad to see, though, and I know we talked about Batman earlier, but the Batman at the city council meeting, but I'm glad to see that today it was reported that ICE will not be at the Super Bowl.
They're not going to be. Okay, good. So Santa Clara said no?
They will have a presence in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, they say, next weekend, but they have no plans to be at Levi's Stadium on Sunday. Okay. They say they will not enforce any immigration policies at NFL-sponsored events across the Bay Area over the next few days, but the Department of Homeland Security may still have a presence in and around the game. So they might be there, but apparently they're not going to be there to arrest you.
Snatching people
whether or not, do we believe them? I don't know.
I mean, I think they don't want to bring any more bad press. And again, what did they get? I'd like to say, what are they going to do? But it's going to be so chaotic. I mean, again, the Super Bowl was here 10 years ago. It's so crazy. The road closures have already started. And there's so many concerts, and it's going to be a damn good time. Mm-hmm. So maybe the people with money are like, hey, can you back off a little bit? I would hope. You know what I mean? I really do think that big business is like, yo, stay the hell out. Because the NFL, all of these big tech companies that are here are like, we don't want bad press. We want the big money. You know what I mean? Like, can you stop already? Now, who is taking bets on whether this Turning Point USA halftime show is going to draw any sort of eyeballs versus the Bad Bunny? Because I tell you that I have a certain relative, everyone knows who it is, who's a total Trump supporter. Everyone knows who it is, who was like, I'm not watching the halftime show because I'm like, you only don't like Bad Bunny because somebody told you not to like Bad Bunny, but who also has a mother who is Puerto Rican, who is like all about watching Bad Bunny right now. And I am absolutely loving it. So we're watching Bad Bunny at the halftime show. So somebody's going to be very pissed off, but very excited about the halftime show. I think it's going to be so much fun. I'm excited about Green Day. I think it's going to be, there's also this commercial I wanted to talk about. Did you hear about this commercial about this beer called Nature Calls? Did you guys hear about this? We're going to be talking about commercials, but this one I just saw on the New York Post. Okay. There is a beer called Nature Calls. It's the brainchild of Columbia Sportswear and Breakside Brewing. They're both based in Portland, Oregon. The president says, when we say engineered for whatever, we mean for whatever. If Mother Nature hurls bear poop at us, we ferment it into a frosty pint. And
What?
they literally mean it. They say they pluck scat left behind by American black bears off the forest floors, and they send it to their friends at Breakside Brewing. The brewery then drops the poop into its brewing water and transforms it into beer. Now, I'm hoping this is like some joke commercial, but as far as this article says, there's no. I'm waiting for the punchline, but there is none. They say the beer does not have any poop taste. It's described as delicious and having notes of huckleberry and honey.
No, I don't believe it. As a matter of fact, look at the can. I'm going to blow it up. Look at the bottom. It says Columbia, like the clothing brand on the bottom.
That's what they partnered with. Yeah, Breakside Brewing and Columbia. They partnered together.
Maybe it's an advertisement for Columbia go get their clothes or something. That can't be right. It's got
they say that they're going to have a booth
behind them.
They say Nature Calls will be available at the Columbia booth at Levi's Stadium during the players' tailgate before the Super Bowl, as well as at Breakside's numerous breweries in Oregon.
Yikes.
And the drink will be hard to miss. There's an image of a thick black bear leaving behind a giant pile of what soon will become beer right on the front of the can. I don't know. I'm hoping it's a joke, but I would never drink beer poop.
It has to be a joke. That can't be sanitary. There's absolutely no way. Now, I know that coffee is made from civet poop, but this is too much. This is a bridge too far, my friend. I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. I mean, I don't believe it, nor would I buy it.
Well, earlier this month, the Proper Restaurant and Bar in I don't know if it's La Cañada or I'm assuming it's La Cañada, unveiled the Yellow 2120 cocktail in favor of the 550-pound brown bear that squatted in a nearby Altadena home for 37 days.
Oh, that was a great story.
The drink was honey flavored and named for the color and number of the state wildlife tag that had been on the Bruins ear, but did not include any of the beast scat. Wow. But
I don't know. I think it's got to be a joke. Has to be.
I'm hoping, but they have not said that it's a joke yet. So if anyone is going to the Super Bowl now, the cheapest ticket I saw on Ticketmaster was about $6,500. So, which is expensive, but if you're a huge fan, now I have one Patriots fan in my life. I have no Seahawks fans in my life. So I'm going for the Pats, obviously. I'm definitely not going for the Seahawks. I'm so bummed. I'm bummed because people think the Seahawks are going to win. And for the Seahawks to win at Levi's really pisses me off. So.
Why, is there some type of Seahawks 49ers rivalry?
Are you kidding? Yes. They're in our division.
This is how much I pay attention. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
we hate them, Kim McAllister.
49ers versus Raiders or 49ers versus any team in Los Angeles.
No, we hate
I
them.
understand. But
we despise them. And we also don't want the Patriots to get another ring, but whatever. I would much rather have the Patriots get another ring, I guess, than see the Seahawks win at Levi's Stadium. So yeah, the Seahawks can suck it.
Will you go to Levi, since you live close to Levi's Stadium, will you go there and just see if anyone's scalping a ticket for cheap?
Oh, hell no.
No?
I have zero. So my husband is doing a bike ride on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to stay home. He wants to do this whole him and his friends want bike ride and see how close they can get to the stadium.
Yeah.
That is the least, I could think of nothing worse that I want to do than to mess with that shit. So no, I would rather sit at home, watch Bad Bunny and drink and watch commercials. So he's going to try to do that. I'm going to sit at home. But no, what I would like to do though, is maybe leading up to it, we might go downtown, maybe take the train or light rail or whatever. And maybe, just people watch because there's going to be so many people in town. So, but not to Levi's, to downtown San Jose. I ain't going to Santa Clara.
Liz says avoid the area. Who wants to get stuck in that?
Exactly. No, if I go anywhere to anything, I am going to be bike riding or doing something like that. There's not going to be me in a car anywhere. And I'm actually getting my hair done next week. And I have to like go to Sunnyvale, which is kind of like through that area. And I'm even dreading that. I'm like, ugh.
Gordon says his car is worth less than a ticket to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I think mine is too. Absolutely.
I think it's a little more, but not much. But yeah, I'm excited. It's like the buzz in the South Bay. I know that everyone's going to be like San Francisco, but there's a lot of crap happening down here. So I'm just excited. And the money that's being brought in and just the attention and the fact that we have then the World Cup coming. And I also put my, did you guys put your lottery in for the for the Olympics? Because you could do that also. That's open.
No. What do
so
you
there's
do?
a ticket lottery for the Olympics. So tickets start at like $28, by the way, if you want to go to LA.
Then you win and you win the lottery and then you sell the tickets?
No, if
to
I
the
get in the
event?
lottery, I'm going to go. I mean, how often do you get a chance to go see any sort of thing at the Olympics? I don't care what it is. Like you get to choose. So if you go online, you can choose what events you want to see. I would just go. I mean, how often do you get to go to the Olympics? If it's cheap.
So you're sitting in the stand and you see these little people down below doing these sportsy things and doing their things. Or you sit at home in the comfort of your own home and you see it big on the TV screen and they explain exactly what's happening and you see it big. I just like, why would you want to go watch?
Like because I'm not a huge Olympic sport fan, but I would go for the experience. Like if it was like football and I want to see it, then I'd stay home. But for the Olympics, I would go just to be at the Olympics and just kind of see the experience.
Maybe
so
if it was in a like an area like you could go watch the figure skating.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I want to see. I signed up for like skateboarding. I
Okay.
signed up for I signed up for some of those sorts of things. Like you
Skateboarding
get to
would be
choose
cool.
right?
Okay.
So I had to choose things that my husband would also want to go watch. So I think I chose diving also. I forget what other ones I chose because you have to choose like 5 that you would be open to watch. I don't know. I've never. Okay, yeah, it's not. I mean, nothing's safe. I mean,
This says Olympics not safe. No.
Nothing that's big can be safe, but you only live once, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? Speaking of tickets to things, I told you I was going to bitch about this, right? Harry Styles.
I know you were really wanting to go to that show. What happened?
Okay, so Harry Styles only is doing one show in the United States this year. I am hoping, obviously, that since he's releasing an album, next year he will expand his tour. Okay, he's playing 30 shows at Madison Square Garden in New York. I've never been to Madison Square Garden. I've been to New York a couple times in my life, but I've never gone to Madison Square Garden. Marley and I had seen Harry on his last tour, his Love on Tour, and I am telling you, it was like right at the tail end, like we were coming out of COVID, so it was great to go. I spent maybe $120 for 2 tickets, and we had decent seats, and it was at the SAP Center. It was great. I am telling you, what tickets are going for is effing ridiculous right now. Ticketmaster is an effing racket. Okay. Now, Madison Square Garden is apparently not very big. I think it's 20,000 seats. So it's small. It's only 30 shows. And tickets say they start at $50. No freaking way. You can maybe get a cheap ticket for $100 if you're lucky. So I tried to get on the Amex presale. Yeah. I do not have an American Express card though, but my dad does. Okay. So I was like, hey dad, can I borrow your American Express card? And he said, sure. Well, the problem is you need to give not only have the card, but then you have to have this code and this, that, and the other. So I had 2 tickets. Okay. They were still way overpriced, but decent tickets. But then I needed this code that was in the signature tab. So I call my dad. I'm like, hey, can you give me the code on the signature tab? And he's like, okay. So he gives me the code. And then they need the verification code for the email because it's not my card. So then I'm like, oh, you have to go into your email. So then he's trying to get into an email. It took so long. They took away my tickets.
It's done.
They took them back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But then that wasn't even the worst thing. Well, that was the worst thing. Then Ticketmaster decides, you know what, Nikki? You're a bot. So then I could no longer even get on the Ticketmaster website anymore. So all day yesterday, I'm like, Ticketmaster, unless I was not on the Wi-Fi, does not believe that I am a real person. And so it just became a total show. I tried again today with the artist pre-sale. I was like 1200th and it was over in 27 minutes. So I just don't think that we're going to be able to go. I'm going to keep trying for all these pre-sales and general sales. The truth of the matter is, Ticketmaster and Live Nation have screwed people so bad. It was the same with Taylor Swift, although that was just absolutely ridiculous. If you hear that your artist is in concert, you might as well just tell yourself it's a crapshoot. There's just no way you're going to be able to see him unless you're absolutely rich and it's not that big of an artist. But if it's somebody that's popular like Harry Styles or Taylor Swift, there's just no freaking way you're gonna be able to go. It's a Hail Mary that you're gonna be able to go. I just don't understand.
You know me, I'm not a fan of concerts anyway. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of live music because I go see live music all the time. Usually my kids are playing and I'm going to see live music. This is great. I got orchestras and jazz bands and all kinds of things.
Your daughter is amazing, yes.
But I'm thinking to myself, I should probably try to take my kids to a concert. Jacob's never been to a concert before. It'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
And I keep getting Benson Boone flashed up on my Facebook page.
That'd be fun.
He's going to be in San Francisco as one of these like pre-Super Bowl concerts. So I went to take a look and it turns out that I can't afford to see Benson Boone. Absolutely not.
How much?
There is 0% chance. They say it's going to be what, $200? It is absolutely not going to be $200. It's going to be way more than that because I was looking and clicked on it and you can see on the maps that it's like $540, $2,000, and that's even in the way back. So section 221 is this pink one way in the back here. And they said, I don't really have, they said in section 221, $2,247.
You're like,
ticket.
What are you talking about? Exactly. And most like Marley's like, I want to be in the pit. And I'm like, it's $1,000 per ticket. No, I'm like, are you high?
$500. And you're far back in 221, $540. I don't know where there is 332, balcony 215.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going to, I don't know.
Balcony 215. People would think that that's a deal.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm not paying $300 to go see a concert. Forget about it. My kids I'm going to keep seeing live music with my kids in the show. That's it. Done.
I know. And that's the thing. And the other problem was, and I'm looking at, and the thing is, you get so wrapped up in this shit. I'm going to be honest with you. You get so wrapped up in trying to get tickets that it starts to seem reasonable. You know what I mean? Like you're like, $500? Oh my God, I got to take, you know what I mean? Like you're so excited that tickets popped up.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, I'll just buy it. And you're like, stop. Like you have to set a budget and stick to it. And it's crazy. And I know I bitched about this with Taylor Swift and thank you to Murphy, if you guys were here, that got my daughter in to see Taylor Swift because she was an angel back then.
And Robin, who sent my daughter.
Oh yes, exactly. Like I swear to God, it was like they're angels.
Yeah.
But it's like, you just can't, you have to set a budget or you will just literally do whatever. You know what I mean? I want to go back to the days, and I said this before and I'll always say this, waiting in line where every like ticket box office got a certain number of tickets for a certain section. Like they had good ones all the way back up, right? So and then you waited in line. You know what I mean? Like, and they just went from good to bad. You know what I mean? And that was it. And that way the people that were fans got the tickets. It's just this way of doing it is such bullshit. And there should be a fairer way of doing it. And there just isn't. And I swear to God, I'm going to keep trying because I'm insane. But I don't know, because then I still have to fly to New York. But I could justify it because I'm like, well, then we'll take a family trip to New York and that'll be our Christmas because it's towards the end of the year. And I'm like, okay, well, we could just make that our family trip. Like, we'll just do that. And that's going to be it. But at the same time, it's like, bullshit, that's going to be it. You know what I mean? Like, because then we're in New York and then we're going to do this and then we're going to do that. You know what I mean? And then it becomes like, we just took a cross-country trip last year. We're really going to do a New York trip now? Like, Jesus, Lord almighty. So yeah, I don't know, man. I really want to see, but he has to expand his tour. That's the minute I buy these tickets, he's going to be like, I'm coming to LA next year. And I'm going to be like, screw you, dude. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wish they could fix it, but there's just no way. But yeah, I really, really, really want to see him. I guess I'm just going to have to wait. Something good's going to happen.
Can I tell you about something I'm really afraid of?
Oh, please.
I mean, I'm really afraid of this. This really frightens me.
Okay. Let me ease your fear. Uh-oh.
The FBI has seized ballots in Georgia, Fulton County. They did this raid.
I'm so
and
scared of this.
They took some ballots because Trump is still upset that he lost in 2020, and he's out to prove that there was some shenanigans. The only shenanigans was that he called where did he call? Was it Georgia or wherever he called?
Yes, Ratzenberger or whatever his name is,
Please
right?
find me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not, it's going to be, again, it's chaos, Kim. It is all just chaos. And let me ask you this. It is 2026.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think he will find that people will believe? Honestly.
Well, as was said earlier by an administrative official in Georgia with the election department or the county, some type of county elections official, that the FBI has them and that they're no longer in the custody of the elections officials in Fulton County means they cannot be now verified. They cannot be trusted.
Right.
All right. So the chain of evidence command is broken now that the FBI has taken them from the elections hub in Georgia.
So no one's going to buy it. Like,
well,
that's the
I mean,
thing.
I'm sure that on whatever whacked out conservative channel, someone's, they start reporting, oh, FBI has looked at the ballots and it's true, Trump won and it was stolen and the big
you really
lie
think
is
that
not
Fox
a
News is going
lie.
to get that rabbit hole again, though? You think that Fox News is going to talk about voting ballots again? I think that they're not going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
They've already been sued up the wazoo with that shit. I just don't think they're going to talk about voting and ballots or anything unless there is actual stuff. Like, that's not going to be evidence.
It's not an investigation. If it's the FBI and Kash Patel is heading up the charge here, we know it can only go one way, right?
Right.
And that way is, the ass kissing that is Donald Trump that he requires from all the people that he has put into these positions, which means what he said is, go find me proof. Go, you tell all the people that the election was stolen from me. And so then now Kash Patel and his team at the FBI, does anyone believe that anything they find, that anything that happens here is going to be different than the outcome of the election?
No.
And if they do find something, it's all going to be fake or baker. It's all a bunch of lies and crap.
No.
But it scares me. And here's why it scares me. Not because I think that, it's any legitimacy to this investigation, but because if they're seizing ballots and they're raiding elections, what are they going to do in the midterms when they're so freaked out that Trump is going to be impeached and that he's not going to be able to get away with a lot of the crap that he's getting away with if there's a Democratic-led House? I mean, assuming that he cares that there's a Democratic-led House and he's not going to just do whatever he wants anyway. But I'm scared that elections are done in America. I'm scared when they start tampering with state-run elections and going into counties and seizing their ballots on a federal level like this. It freaks me out. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying. Again, I think that because elections are run at the state level, right? And this obviously is an election that was run, 6 years ago. And everybody can see why they're doing it. I don't know. I understand your fear of the election, but again, if we don't have the midterms, I don't know, we'd have to be in civil war if we didn't have the midterms.
What? I mean,
it would have to be civil war if we.
There's domestic terrorists, they'll say, that are getting in the way of police enforcement across America, and so we're going to suspend elections. What do? We have no recourse. There's nothing we can do.
To stop a national election when we still had it during a pandemic. No, I don't believe that as a country, we would stand for it. Does that make sense? Especially at a time when Trump's approval numbers are so low and when this country can see, and I do largely believe this country so blatantly sees through his election bullshit. Like, it is so blatant how much everyone sees that Trump has been grasping at straws with the election, that for him to claim anything about it is just so tiresome. I think people are tired of it. You know what I mean? Like, I personally hold on to hope with that. That's my hope. And I don't think that the lawmakers want it either. I don't think that it serves them either. I don't think lawmakers, politicians want to halt elections. Why would they want to give up the power? I don't think the political machine wants to halt elections. So, yeah, I get it. We just have to get him out. Does that make sense? We have to get him out.
Will he leave? Or will they just try to say it's a stolen election and we're going to seize those ballots too? And we're going to make it be the election that we want, as someone compares it recently, Vanessa, to Russia, right? They have elections, bogus elections. Is that what we're going to have here? Because that's who we have in power. I believe they'll do anything. Look at the shenanigans they're already doing with the redistricting, making California change the rules to at least even the playing field as Texas decides to, try to get all these House seats. They're doing it all over the place. They're throwing people off voter rolls. The Pam Bondi is now trying to she told Minnesota, we'll back off. You just give me the voter rolls. They asked for the voter rolls in Arizona. They asked for the voter rolls in Oregon. Why do they want them? What are they doing?
Exactly. It's blatant. But we see it.
But
you know what I'm saying?
We have no recourse. What are we going to do? Is Adam Schiff's going to stand up and Jamie Raskin's going to stand up and they're going to say rail against it? And yet, what are we going to do?
Minnesota doesn't have to give it to them. Minnesota didn't give it to them, did he?
No, they didn't. They didn't. Not.
So you say no, and you keep protesting. And Minnesota is standing in 0-degree weather. That's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you say no, and you continue to fight, and you don't blink, which is what Minnesota is. What you do. You know what I mean? That's what you do. And that's what you have to keep fighting. What we have on our side, Kim, are numbers. That's honestly what we have. They can keep doing what they're doing. They can redistrict. They can do all those things, but you can also fight that as well. You know what I mean? You go out and get the vote out. You do all those things. Go ahead.
I thought that in the last election. I mean, you look at a number of people who are like, no, not Trump again. Did you see what he did on January 6th? And still he gets into office. And I don't want to say that there was some type of election tampering, but if there is in the midterm, I really will start to believe it.
I don't understand. I never underestimate stupidity though. Honestly, I do. I also, and somebody else was talking about, auditing, why Kamala Harris didn't request an audit of the swing states. She should have, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that should have been done. I think also we need better candidates, right? I think the way that it's polling for Trump, if it doesn't go the Democrats' way, I think it'll be obvious that we need a, audit of certain things. Again, we can't give in. There is no option, Kim. You know what I mean? Like, I hear what you're saying, but there is no other option.
We have to go vote.
So that's it. Yeah, that's it.
But I'm just saying that I'm starting to have fear. When they start asking for voter rolls and they start raiding county election offices, I'm starting to really look at this and go, everything that's happening is anti-American.
Yeah.
From the people that have the flags flying from their trucks and their houses and splashed onto their barns and that are supposed to be the most patriotic. This is America, one voice, or your voice is supposed to count, right? It's supposed to be that I can weigh in on an election, that we all get to decide what happens in this country. And I'm starting to be very scared that won't be the case.
So what is your answer? What would make you feel better? What do you think we should do?
There's nothing we can do except be aware of it and go try to vote anyway. Right?
I mean, and again, we'll go back to Georgia. You know what I mean? I mean, look at when Biden won Georgia, right? Or look at what had to have happened. Look at the outreach that had to have happened, the unlikelihood that had to have happened, the grassroots efforts that had to have happened. That's America, right? The standing in line, the not giving up, that's what has to happen. You can gerrymander. You can redistrict. You can. But when you talk to the people, when you show them what's happening, for some people, it won't be a wake-up call. And for others, they're going to be so fed up. And that's why people keep talking about affordability. That's why people keep talking about grocery prices. That's why people keep talking about reality. That's why people keep talking about Alex Preddy.
Silly.
You know what I mean?
It's just silly that people care more about the price of eggs than they do about people getting shot down in the streets.
Well, they do. Because sometimes that's a gray area for some people, obviously. It's sad, but it's true.
Here's a video of Dana Bash on CNN, and she has a roundtable, and she's talking about how what's happening with ballots, elections, etc., is cause for alarm.
Breakneck pace of the Trump administration. Some stories may not get the highlights that they deserve. This is one that we're going to make sure does not go unmarked. It's what happened in Atlanta yesterday. It's so important. FBI agents seized all of the 2020 general election ballots from Fulton County, Georgia. And this, of course, is the latest effort on behalf of the president to relitigate an election he lost 5+ years ago. Another attempt to find fraud where, so far, with a lot of investigation, none has been found. Now, the Justice Department has already sued the county for access to 2020 election records. President Trump posted about the search dozens of times last night and into this morning on social media, spreading numerous conspiracy theories and writing this: Trump won big, crooked election. Local officials are sounding the alarm when they're seeing that.
Nobody buys his
there,
shit, though.
and obviously,
you know what I mean?
Given what they experienced for hours yesterday.
These ongoing efforts are about intimidation.
Nobody buys his
distraction.
bullshit, though. I mean, come on.
Not facts. Once they left that facility last night in those FBI trucks, I don't know where they are now. I don't know who has them. I don't know what they're doing with them. Are they opening the boxes? Are they stuffing other ballots in there? I have no clue.
And the panel is back now. Stephen?
Well, even all of the things we've seen in this wild January, this is still pretty shocking. Because we're back to one of the president's obsessions about the 2020 election. We don't know exactly what the probable cause the FBI and the Justice Department put to the judge that allowed them to get a warrant to do this. I think the concern here is, yes, it's going back to 2020, but what is the government doing here coming from the outside? States look after elections, not the federal government. Is this something they're looking for that they can use in the 2026 election or the 2028 election to interfere in the administration of the election in Georgia? And we've seen them looking for voter rolls in Minnesota as well. So I think this is raising all sorts of alarm bells, not just about what happened 2020, but what does it mean for the fair administration of elections going forward?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is because they don't have an independent body, and nobody trusts the FBI to be an independent body because they're not.
No. Neither is
there's
the
always
DOJ.
going to be a case. There's always going to be this element of doubt. And that's what the Trump administration has done. I have never doubted so much the FBI as I do with this administration. Like, I don't trust Kash Patel at all. I don't trust Pam Bondi.
None of
like
them.
anything that she says, I'm like, but it's coming from her. She is not an independent body. Kash Patel is not an independent body. He's ruined. Donald Trump has ruined these agencies.
Yeah.
I don't see them as
He's ruined the
independent.
trust with the Department of Justice.
Exactly.
He's ruined the trust with the FBI. Never in my life would I have thought,
Never.
if the FBI was doing an investigation, I
would trust it.
Never, not anymore.
Never. So
I
don't trust whatever comes out of it. And I don't think all Americans would trust it. And because I don't think that this matters for all Americans. And so it wouldn't hold up. I think it'll still be partisan is what I mean. And so because it will be partisan, it doesn't make a difference. All the results will still be partisan. So we're still in the same spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel like Trump said this. If they're not going to find me 11,780 votes, I'm going to find them myself.
And it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter because everybody knows what he's doing. And that's the problem. Like, Nobody buys it. He's a child.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to buy it. Like, and if you really think that after this many years, all of a sudden, now he found it, give me a fucking break. No. And I want to know who the judge was that signed off on this, just like they were saying. Like, What is this? What is this? And this is so stupid. It's so stupid. It's just dumb. And again, Congress sucks. You know what I mean? Like, all of it sucks. They're just such failures. We, for people that say we just need to clean house and get people out of there, I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
So many of those people are not doing their job, or are just beholden to some sort of entity or big business or something that they're just so worried about losing their job. I want people in Congress that could give two shits about losing their job next election cycle. You know what I mean? That's who I want. I want people that are like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do the right thing. And if you don't want to elect me next year because I did that, fine. But I'm going to tell the truth and I'm going to find the corruption and I'm going to tell you the truth. That's what I want. That's what I want. Ugh, I'm so tired of these men and women who are only covering their own ass. It pisses me off.
I think we can't look away from it. I think we have to really we have to really pay attention to any time you see an election story, hone in.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. I mean, it is an important story. And thank you for bringing it up because they are hoping we don't pay attention. But again, I do think though,
they're killing people on the streets. The last thing we're doing is looking at the FBI truck
because
backing
it's all
up
chaos.
to Fulton County, beep, 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 loading up 700 boxes of ballots.
It's another thing though, Kim. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the election, it's ICE, it's everything to take away from the fact that he's a shitty ass president and he hasn't done anything for you. Mm-hmm. That's the point. And we always make the same point what has he done to bring us together? To make America great. What has he done to make America great? Like, because he keeps talking shit about us. He talks about us like we're awful. Yeah. Like I don't think Donald Trump has ever stood up there and be like, we're the best. He always says like, we're half awful. At the best he's ever said is like, only half of us are great. He doesn't make America feel great about itself. And it sucks. And I can't wait until he goes away in whatever way God has intended. So I cannot wait for that day. I cannot wait for that. Yeah, exactly. And I know, does anyone remember Venezuela? Does anyone remember the cats and the dogs? And we were talking about Minnesota. Somalians, we don't seem to be talking about them, even though we're still in Minnesota. Like all of these storylines that were like so effing important, like where are they? Right. It's chaos.
We took over another country and we yanked their leader out and brought them to America to face American justice.
Right.
And all of it. And we're talking about, it's just, there's so much. And I think that's what they do. They're creating that on purpose.
Chaos. Yeah, exactly. Because again, right. It's we're not talking about Epstein. We're not talking about this. It's just, he is just a crappy president who doesn't do anything with tiny fingers. And again, Epstein, and they still haven't released all the files. They're in contempt, but apparently we don't have to follow the rules. It doesn't matter. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. And I want them to lose so bad in the midterms that we are going to have. And I want us to do something.
What are we going to do on the Nikki Maduro show? Are we going to phone bank? Are we going to write postcards?
Let's do it. That would be awesome.
I mean, is there something we can do collectively as a team here to go, okay, we're going to do something. It may
sometimes
matter.
I feel like we're in our California bubble. We should be doing something. Because sometimes I'm like, you're like, write your congressperson. I'm like, well, my congressperson's like totally on my side, but there's congresspeople in our state that aren't, which is true. But we have to reach out to these other states. Because don't you feel that way sometimes when people are like, tell your senator and I'm like, well, my senator and congressperson's on my side. Like, don't worry about it. They always write me a letter. They're saying, yes, I hear you. And I'm totally doing that. I'm like, I know, but tell the other people that you work with, please tell them. But yes, we should do that. What we need to do is we need to reach out to people in other states. That's what we need to do. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, right. We need to like get a cute little postcard with what? some sort of fancy slogan? What do you think? We need to get
Well,
some.
they have groups that you can get them from, and usually, they'll give you a pack depending on how many people you have on your team.
All
And
right.
you distribute those, you stamp them, you distribute them, and then they send them back to you so you can mail them out and make sure they get mailed.
All right.
Or
Do
you
we
can
get that
trust
information
people to
up on
mail
our
them.
show?
Yeah, I think we do. I
Okay.
think, or tell us what we'll give you the name of the organization, and you get your friends together and do one.
Yes.
We're all going to work together, and let's see how many we can write collectively.
Yes. All right.
So
well, we need
as
to
we
get it
get
going.
closer to the election, I'll look up that information, and maybe
Yes.
we can do something, because we got to feel like we're making a difference.
We are. And every week when we talk about this, I know that we're making a difference. And I know sometimes I feel like we're talking into our own bubble, but I know that we're reaching people, because there are people that don't agree with us that come here every week. So obviously, and I'm proud of those people. Let me just tell you, I'm very, very proud of you guys. I really am. And because I know, and even those of you that watch us on the recording, because there's many more of you, I'm very proud that you guys come and have the debate, because it's very important. Even though I don't understand you guys. But I love having the discourse, because it's important. Rev says our congressperson isn't doing enough. They need to be louder. They need to be hiding. Holding. Okay. Press conferences every day, pointing out and pounding away at the ridiculousness of going on and how they're going to probably do something about it. I agree, because sometimes I feel like the overwhelming emotion I have is Congress is doing shit. Like, they are so ineffectual. I'll hear like Bernie or AOC or some people like that. Even Amy Klobuchar, who's like thrown her hat in for Minnesota governor. Okay. But it doesn't seem like it's enough, does it? It just seems like a bunch of hot air when they still are there. Like, even this funding package, why do they get to take the weekend off? Right? Like, why are you taking the weekend off? It pisses me off that they work Monday through Friday. Why? When our country is at such a crossroads and things seem to be falling apart, why are you taking a weekend off? You know what I mean? Like, you have healthcare. People are hurting. I don't know. Some things like that just piss me off. You know what I mean? So whatever. I can get on a soapbox about that all day long. But yeah, so get me the information. I'll put it at the top of our show notes. And we'll have it up there as we get closer to the election, of course, because we have to make sure that our elective representatives are doing what we want them to do. Okay, so we are close to the Super Bowl. We have one more week. Right? It's not this Sunday. It's next. Yeah, one more week. So you guys, then after that, we'll have some fun with commercials and everything like that. So it'll be a bit lighter. But we will be back here next Thursday. So we have some thank yous to give out. You guys have been very generous. I want to say thank you. We didn't give thank you to Harry.
Harry
can't spell brain. You can. $2 donation. Thank you so much. All right. Also, Harry. Oh, that's why I was doing it backwards. Makes my brain hurt. Where's my Maduro mule? I finished mine. I'm sorry, Harry. Thank you for the $5 donation. I drank it all. Also, a big thank you to Cindy with the $10 donation. We love you guys so very much. Also, Louise came in with a couple donations, a $5 there and a $5 there.
Thank you.
I'm not giving any of that to the Melania documentary because she doesn't deserve any of it.
Nope.
Okay, you guys, as always, thank you for being here. If you could support our show, all of the ways to donate are in the show notes. PayPal, Patreon. The email address, of course, is thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com. That's also a way to reach out to us if you want to email us and let us know what you think of the show. If you have any show ideas, we love hearing from all of our listeners. So take care of each other. We love you guys so much. We will again be back here Thursday, 5 o'clock Pacific, or catch us anytime on the recording. All right. We love you. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.